Welcome to The Coffee Grind with the Denton Chamber of Commerce, powered in part by Classic of Denton. The views and opinions expressed by the show hosts and their guests are those of the show hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the sponsors, DentonRadio.com, or the Denton Convention and Visitors Bureau. For more information, visit the Policies and Procedures page at DentonRadio.com.
Good morning, Denton. Good morning, Coffee Grind listeners. If you don't know me already, my name is Erica Pangburn. I am the CEO of your Denton Chamber of Commerce, and I have the privilege this morning. Have y'all had your coffee yet?
I've had plenty of coffee.
I'm well caffeinated.
I have the privilege this morning of sitting with Ryan Morris from First State Bank. Welcome.
Thank you.
And CEO and Chancellor of North Central Texas College, Dr. Brent Wallace. Welcome to the show. We're going to jump right in. There is some exciting things happening right down the street. I've been driving past this building. I love it. I can't wait to get inside. And I want to talk about it right now. So for those who are unfamiliar with what is coming to downtown, Dr. Wallace, can you give us a quick rundown of what we can expect from the First State Bank Exchange?
Absolutely. The First State Bank Exchange for NCTC is the first time that we've had a permanent location in Denton. We've been serving Denton County for a long time, and we've even had campuses in this county back into the 70s. It's just permanence is one of the things that is harder for community colleges to find those locations. So we're very excited to be downtown. This particular campus focuses on academic transfer work. So in other words, Associate of Arts kind of courses in the core curriculum. That is based on an 8-week course format. So in other words, students can come in the first half of a semester. They can take, let's say, 6 hours. The second half of the same semester, they can take an additional 6, but they're never having to focus on that full, large content at once. It gives them easier ways to progress through a degree without having to have so much at one point in time. So we're very excited to have that introduced in Denton for the first time as far as a full comprehensive campus dedicated to that. So courses like history, English, math, so many of the things that you need even to transfer, and we're really looking forward to for this to be a hub between University of North Texas, Texas Women's University, and NCTC for those students that are concurrently enrolled. So in other words, you've already transferred to, say, University of North Texas, you could still take 1 or 2 classes that you have left at NCTC, pull those over, finish that degree at UNT. So
you're looking to attract those overachievers?
Well, more than overachieving, it's a way to get that associate degree completed. And even with Texas Women's University, we have articulation where they can reverse transfer. Even if they go to TW early, they can still get their degree from us. And so it's a nice way for them to always have that associates because it stays with you a lifetime.
Absolutely.
So it's exciting.
That is exciting. I love the options that offers for sort of the non-traditional students. And we are all so busy that offers so many more options for working it in where you can. I love that.
And the one other thing that I do want to also talk about just briefly is how much this is going to be a hub, we hope, for our communities too. So not just a learning environment for students, but also a place where other community leaders can come in, learn from our faculty, people that want to grab a course in something that maybe is not traditional in manner, but they just want to broaden their spectrum. There's a lot of things we're going to be able to do with that as well.
So are you speaking of the option to possibly audit courses?
Audit's always an option. Also, we have what we call our adult and continuing education department, which after a while we'll be getting in there. You could be able to find courses, but in personal finance, which Mr. Morris and I have talked about more than once, or something like a photography course. There's just a lot of options. And we just want that location to be a place where people want to come in and just get to know us and visit.
It's an exciting addition to our already exciting downtown and to a community of learners. Ryan, NCTC has formed this partnership with First State Bank to bring the exchange to Denton. Can you elaborate on how this relationship came about and what that's going to mean for you and for the campus?
Absolutely. So First State Bank and NCTC have had a partnership that goes back decades, if not close to a century. We can only go back so far in the records, but to the best of our knowledge, it goes back to the beginning of both of us. So we've been very tight business partners for a long time, in part because of how important we as our bank sees education in the lives of the communities that we serve. There is nothing that is more transformational to a person's quality of life over their lifetime than an education. It allows people to improve their situation, to create a lifetime's worth of earnings with that education. And NCTC does such a fabulous job of providing a great education that's affordable and accessible. And bringing this to Denton to make more affordable and more accessible through really amazing and new ways and formats like the exchange is going to offer was just incredibly exciting opportunity for us to participate. So we were able to make a donation of $1 million to NCTC for those naming rights, which allowed NCTC to equip all of the classrooms with absolutely state-of-the-art equipment.
That's incredible.
So that's what the donation was used for, was to equip the class with the absolute best technology possible. In addition, because of our focus on making education as accessible and as affordable as possible, and to again deepen the relationship, we have actually created and launched an entirely new type of account that's directed at students. We call it the Experience account. We think that goes well with the exchange.
It does.
A key feature of that account that's very unique, in addition to being more accessible for students because of very, very low amounts that are required, $20 opening deposit, and that's it, is that students who are NCTC students and open that account will all be entered into a drawing to have all of their NCTC tuition paid for.
That's fantastic. I'll be enrolling soon. I'm tempted to enroll, open bank accounts. Let's do it.
And something else the bank chose to do, which we really appreciate, there are 2 endowed scholarships that were also created out of that donation in part, so that lasts way beyond the normal boundaries of what a gift can last, and that's lifetime-changing experience for students. So that we really appreciate the banks investing, yes, in NCTC, but they're really investing in the heart of our students and really helping students not leave with debt, not leave home if they can't afford to right now, to really make a change in their futures.
Well, those who know me know that I was not hired or brought here based on my math skills, but I do know that investment of $1 million is a much bigger investment.
Yes.
And I just want to say thank you for investing in the community in that manner. Dr. Wallace, how do you see this new campus contributing to the economic growth of the city of Denton?
So any place that one of the things that's interesting to me is historically, especially in the state of Texas, community colleges are the hub for economic development and partnerships. So we work with EDCs, we work with chambers, we work with local business and industry, and the beauty of that is we are there to provide those skills for new business and anyone that needs retooling. So, for example, in Denton, we've worked in the past with Flowers Bakery to increase and do safety video kind of work for them. We've worked with Johnston's. We've been able to secure grants for them so that it's no cost to that entity and no cost to NCTC. It funds those programs. So Texas Workforce Commission, there's only one place you can get those skills development funds, and that's in Denton County, that's only through North Central Texas College. And so we're here to help do that. It feeds along well with the notion of this exchange of business, industry, education, community, all in one location. So we're very excited about that. So not to mention those that are on payroll for us, those that will be working here, and the students that will be eating and socializing in the square. I mean, we're very excited to be here. It's an awesome experience. It's so fun. And one of the things we chose not to do was put any kind of food service, any kind of bookstores. There's
I was going to ask you about that.
Yes,
What is that? How will I eat if I come to your school?
Well, go to one of the countless wonderful restaurants right here.
So as a participant, leader of an economic development organization, you are speaking my love language.
Yeah.
You are. Workforce development, business retention, business attraction, that is at the heart of what we do. And when I came in today, I said, hey, you're on my list. That's part of it. And that's going to be a conversation for another radio show, another day. But
I'd love to.
We actually have enjoyed the help of an intern this summer that was funded through one of your programs, and that meant a lot to us. I'll tell you, it meant a lot to my staff for certain, that extra help.
Wonderful.
And I have a couple more questions for you. We're going to come back to the workforce issue. With UNT and TWU and now the exchange, like I mentioned, this is a learning community. Higher education is a big part of our lives here. What do future projections for higher education look like, and how does the exchange fit into that conversation? You sort of touched on it earlier about being able to be enrolled dually. Can you expand on that just a little bit for someone who may not have understood that?
Sure. What we're going to face probably in the next 10 to 15 years is the increased numbers of dual credit students is going to impact higher education likened to no other programs. Mm-hmm. Dual enrollment between a high school student and a college at the same time. Gotcha. And they earn the high school credit, but they're also earning college level credits, and some of them are even graduating with North Central Texas College with full associate's degrees before they walk across the stage in high school. That's how much that's grown. NCTC is looking at about a 30% enrollment of dual credit of our overall enrollment in the fall. Mm-hmm. That's the highest it's ever been. That's also affecting, though, if we're not careful, the way those transfer to TWU, UNT. Mm-hmm. Goes back to what Mr. Morris mentioned in this notion of making sure students don't incur more debt than they need to in their chosen degree path. So we're working very diligently.
And that's a valid concern in planning that path.
Absolutely. And that's why I love to see the bank's partnership and their input in this notion of let's get students financially savvy earlier and earlier and earlier. And, you and I have talked about, I took a personal banking course, finance course in business school, but those kind of things we're also teaching through learning frameworks courses as entry-level
because let's face it, it costs money to stay alive.
Yes.
So that's such a vital part of that whole entire education piece.
So what
is learning what to do with that.
Making sure then that the pathway you choose at NCTC is going to go to the degree plan you want ultimately if it's baccalaureate. Mm-hmm. If it's just the associate's degree, wonderful. But if you have any inclination of transferring or any desire to go further your education in the future, let's make sure it's in an area that you're prepared to do that at the least cost you can. And it's pretty awesome. And so I think the future higher ed is a partnership likened to this. Mm-hmm. Industry, 2-year institutions, and 4-year institutions working together to drive the cost of education down as much as we can and do what's right for those students that walk across our stage.
And provide that prepared workforce that attracts future industry.
Well, and I'd love to also mention the importance of dual credit because, again, to me, it's education is the transformational aspect it has on your life. Dual credit, and I know that you've worked with some high schools that have full integration into their schools mm-hmm. so that they actually get their associate's degree before they walk across the stage and get their high school diploma.
It's incredible.
Now, not only is it incredibly affordable to do that, but you've just added 2 years of lifetime earnings. You've cut 2 years off of your college time that you did concurrently while you were in high school. So you get out 2 years earlier and you start earning faster.
And Mom and Dad love that too.
Who doesn't love it? Now you miss a couple of summer breaks that you might have had otherwise.
You get those back later too, right?
Yeah, you get those back later by starting your careers earlier, starting your earnings earlier. It's just an amazing financial impact that it has on families.
And I think it's doing a lot to end or help end generational poverty as well. It has the ability to make a huge impact on an entire generation. Because what we're doing at NCTC is if you are on your high school's free and reduced lunch program, we waive your dual credit tuition. We're putting that money in as an institution.
Say that out loud one more time.
If you are enrolled at your high school and you are a free and reduced lunch qualified student, if you come to NCTC for dual credit, you're coming to NCTC for no money, free tuition.
I appreciate that. So I wanted you to say it twice. I want to make sure that everyone's hearing that.
But we're paying for that as an institution, and we're doing so because we have support of our. We have scholarships, but we're doing that as a budget line in our own budget. In areas where we don't have revenue base, where we don't have taxes, we're still trying to serve that area. And so it's been important for us to understand we're giving back in big ways, and we love doing that.
That's the best part, isn't
Yeah.
it? Okay, before I drag you down the street to show me the space, I have one more maybe controversial question. Let's talk about the P word, parking. Exchange is added a parking garage to accommodate the students. Will this extra downtown parking, Lord knows we need it, be available to the general public?
This is where we are this first year. We are not making it available to public during traditional hours of operations for the campus. So not at this point, because one of the things we wanted to make sure we didn't do is add to the parking problem.
Sure.
And so what we've said is we know how many students we're going to have in a given hour or given 2-hour blocks in that campus. We've aligned that with DCTA's schedule. So we're encouraging public transportation, not bringing your car down. And so between those two, we should be able, that parking garage, to suffice what we need. But we want to make sure that occurs first. So 340 spots in that parking garage. Students will be able to park there, incentivizing public transportation. Now, will we be looking at opening that at after hours, weekends? Absolutely. We want to be a part of the community in some way, but we don't want to be the burden on the front end.
Sure.
We want to make sure we've got ourselves where we need to be before we open it to everybody else. But
And that's understandable. It sounds like
Yes.
you have done a lot of efficient and thorough planning on the front end.
we have to give kudos to DCTA and their work. Literally, the schedule for this campus was created, and then the bus and train route was also aligned to that schedule so students could catch that train.
If that's not community friendly, I don't know what is.
We're trying. We're doing a good job.
Is there, can you throw some websites out there? Is there some more information for people who heard something that really resonated with them? Where can they go to get more information about some of the things we talked
I
about?
encourage you to go to the main website, and then there's big pieces that you can attach. So www.nctc.edu, and it won't take you very long to find those front page issues, but that's where most students will come to if you have an admissions question or a campus location question, or if you want to know about financial aid. Those are the places you can get that, www.nctc.edu.
Dr. Wallace,
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you.
Mr. Morris, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for your investment, not only financially, but the investment of yourself back into the community.
And folks,
really
come by and
appreciate
see us. Come by. Come in and ask questions.
Let's
We
go
love
see it. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. We want to thank our partners and sponsors who made this show possible. And now stick around for a word from all of us here at Discover Denton.